Everybody, welcome to Live from Tech Alley, December 2024 Holiday Edition. As you can see, the founder and genius behind Tech Alley, Josh Leavitt, is in the spirit here tonight with his hat, and we are excited to be here today. There have been a couple of hiccups getting here today, but we are here live with you as always every month from Tech Alley in beautiful, lovely Taverna Costera in downtown Las Vegas at the corner of Main and Charleston. One of the main sponsors for the Tech Alley event. They make sure we have coffee. They make sure we have water. They make sure we have lunch. Lunch is free if you attend Tech Alley. That's still true, right?
That's still true.
I always like to check before I put that out there. Although I always put it out there before I check. So, but we are here. We are having a great time at Tech Alley. The first talk is going on right now. I know a lot of folks are in with Kurt Walker on the Who's Got My Money talk. But Josh, tell us what's been going on with Tech Alley since last month, and tell us what all the big news is, and tell us what's going on today.
Yeah, Tech Alley is, just to get to the point, man, it's killing it, right? I really enjoy that so many more folks are attending our events or going to the site, because the big thing about Tech Alley is we're saying, hey, the events are phenomenal, great networking, great way to connect with people and build a community around sharing knowledge and mentorship, right? Part of that give back, give first philosophy. But we had that question of what's next, right? How can we create some sort of structure out of something so fluid? And so we've been putting a big effort on continuing those conversations and helping people bring their ideas to market or stabilize their business or accelerate their business by offering tools and other resources on the site.
One of the things we haven't talked about much since we've been doing these live streams, but is a really big component of Tech Alley, is it's gotten going in other cities. And I'm not sure where, I know where we've started. I don't know where it's still going. If you could fill us in on that, but really exciting. I believe this month, just a couple days ago, was the second version of it. There's Tech Alley Henderson, which is one of our other cities here in the Las Vegas Valley in Southern Nevada. So tell us a little bit about Tech Alley Henderson. Tell us about where Tech Alley is going on in the rest of the country too.
Yeah. So Tech Alley started in Vegas in May of 2021, and about a year later, we went to Reno. So I'll just give you the whole path. And I thought, that's actually good. There's a need there. There's not a lot of activity happening there. I would say a lot of inspiration came from what Reno was doing probably 10 years prior.
A lot of the inspiration for our startup community here is what Reno was doing up in Northern Nevada 10 years prior. They're about a decade ahead of us on their startup community, and we're catching up rapidly.
Yeah, so it was one of those things where when I was looking for what resources were out there for the startup community, I had reached out to the city and the other groups down here, and there really wasn't a big thing on entrepreneurs. I'm actually everybody sort of pointing their fingers at everybody else, going, they're taking care of that.
The standard Vegas thing.
So it was actually Reno, the economic development EDON, who I reached out to. I said, what are you guys doing for startups? And they said, here's what we've been doing for 10 years. Here's our framework, and they were basing it off of Brad Feld's book, Startup Communities.
Startup Communities, great book. Go read it if you're interested in startup communities.
And I read that book like 3 times.
Yep,
it's an easy read. And I put together a blueprint and pitched that to the city.
It's all about the one place, right?
Oh, that's it. I said, all right, well, Tech Alley's part of this is going to be that, acceleration activity. You got to have activity. You got to have a creative class. You got to have, no patriarchs to an ecosystem. Can we create that, right? And so that's what we did here. So when I was talking to Reno, the whole idea was, well, let's get an activity going up there, because there wasn't much going on. And I learned this, and I'll through observation, is that just like a business has its life cycles, I think ecosystems have their life cycles.
Agreed.
And so there's like that there's excitement stage and your ideation stage, and you're building something, and then there's a crisis in place. And how do you overcome that? And I think that Reno was kind of in that spot, as they told me. They did it, right? They got a lot of startups there. They got a lot of people into technology careers, and they were at a point where they were no longer participating in that free sharing of knowledge like they were, the excitement that we're experiencing right now. And so what happened? People could no longer be part of the ecosystem because there was no more doors open to it.
Okay.
And so I thought, all right, well, let's go back to this, the core principles of exciting things up and getting people to want to start participating. And so, that's what we did. We brought our principles to it. And I think that Reno quickly, jumped on board, and next thing you know, there's a lot more activities going there. But it was also like a trial run that says, could Tech Alley could there be other chapters of Tech Alley? And I learned a lot of things from that experience, right? Because originally I was going up to Reno, and I was running the events, and the first thing I said is, well, it has to be a Saturday, right? That's the day everybody can make it.
Yep.
And and here's the format that worked in Vegas, but I learned that you can't cookie cutter this model. It has to be focused on whatever that community needs.
It's so funny. We needed to learn that lesson with Tech Alley here, because what's the thing we always say about our community here when people try to come from like Silicon Valley or Austin or Denver? They say, okay, this is how you do. We go, not going to work in Vegas.
That's not it. Yeah.
You got to do it the Vegas way.
That's right. And I learned that. I mean, it's so quick, because here's the thing. You don't host stuff on Saturdays in Reno. Why? Because it's a very outdoorsy culture.
Everybody's out hiking or mountain biking or
nice
skiing or something like that.
If it's a nice day or a good day for skiing, exactly, they're not going to be inside. They're going to be outside. So it was like, okay, we got to adapt that. And then two, it needs to be run by somebody local.
Absolutely.
They know the culture. They know the norms. They have the trust, factor. And a dude from Vegas coming up, even goodwill, just didn't know enough. Like you said,
great to be part of the
coming
team,
here saying, here's how it works here.
But it's got to be someone local who's the front man or front woman or front person for it. So
yeah, very, very, very important. So yeah, one, you can't cookie cutter Tech Alley, and it has to be run by champions in the local community.
Love it.
To do it. And so those were big learning lessons. So now we did in our agreements, our chapter leadership agreements, it says, here's our core principles. It has to be inclusive, it has to be accessible, and it has to be consistent. Outside of that, you do what the community needs.
Awesome.
Right? And so we learned that lesson in Reno. We also had a chapter running up in Denver. They had an issue where there was a lot of silos. Same sort of situation where they did amazing. I mean, Brad book, Startup Community is all about Boulder, Colorado, right?
Yeah, it is.
So, but they're finding out that there wasn't a lot of this community networking anymore. There's again a bunch of silos. So the organizer there tried to excite some things up, and I leveraged all that as lessons. And so when we kicked off Henderson, it was Lorraine, her name's Lorraine, is the one that wanted to do it, and she was tied into the community. She knew what the community went. I stayed back, gave advice, let her run it, and she's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I wanted to go the other night. I wasn't able to make it. I got wrapped up in some other projects, but I'm looking forward to going to the next one.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it went gangbusters. It sounds like it went amazing. They've been doing it 2 months now.
Yeah.
They have a great lineup. They do like a really kind of fun condensed thing on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Which is what's right for Henderson.
Yeah. Yep. And also what's right. And it's nice it's close to, the two cities are close to each other, because there are people that can't make a Saturday, and so they're enjoying the opportunity to meet a Wednesday. Now the ultimate goal is that we accelerate activity there. When they were looking at Henderson, there was nothing happening, right? And so now the idea is get some people that says, hey, I want to share knowledge, I want to have a meetup, or I want to have a session, and then they get a following, and next thing you know, it's an organic setup like here.
They had 4 really great meetup. 4 really great talks. I think they had a IT and cybersecurity talk.
Yeah.
They had a lot of great stuff, and I really wanted to go. I just got wrapped up doing something else.
Yeah.
But I'm was doing a big push on some stuff. That big push is done. Now the holidays are here. We have some new big push stuff coming up that came out a result of Tech Alley here.
Oh.
And so but I've got the holidays to kind of lean into that. I don't know if you met Tarby Bryant. He was on our little live show here last month. He runs a thing called Gathering of Angels.
Oh yes,
he was
your first guest, I think, right?
He was the like before I even let Dave on last month. Tarby was on, and we've been helping them out. We're doing a very similar production for them. For Gathering of Angels, which that's been going for like a year and a half in Vegas, and I don't think a lot of folks who are part of our startup community knew about that. And that's what Tech Alley is doing for our community here. Is it's breaking down those silos, building those bridges, and getting people involved. It's I always say it's like School of Rock. We all got to play each other's songs, right? That's what a band does. We got to play each other's songs.
Yeah.
And that's what Tech Alley is helping us all do.
Yep. There can be no patriarchs to the ecosystem. There should be no barriers to getting engaged on this. And a big one of the principles, at least from Brad Feld's book, was that there is no zero-sum games amongst the supporters of the ecosystem, right? We work together. We don't try to compete against each other.
You can't have a zero-sum game attitude.
Right.
And we all go through phases where we're working on our businesses and we need to be inwardly focused on ourselves, and that's okay. But when you're out of that phase, come on back to us, right?
Oh boy. So I don't know if I ever told you, but early on when I created, Tech Alley, I think there was some of that competitive spirit amongst other organizations. And
I've noticed that has declined.
Yeah.
I'm only focused on my own thing and I don't want to be connected to anyone else because it's competitive. I'm seeing much more of a cooperative and collaborative spirit since Tech Alley's really taken hold a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I'd like to say that we helped change that, because people would come up to me and say, Josh, how can I help? How can I support Tech Alley? Right? And I'm sure they were saying, hey, donate. Could I? And I said, here's what we do, because I knew we had to change our culture. I said, if you ever hear anybody talking bad about another support group, you tell them to shut the hell up. I use a different word, but I said, shut the hell up. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be.
We're on the internet. You can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. We can't have music in the background, but you can say whatever you want.
But that was the whole idea. How can we change culture and a different way of thinking? And I think that really helped, because and then I doubled down, right? If I heard an event was happening, I promoted it. That was the whole thing. It didn't have to be a tech.
What it's all about.
Alley. My thought was, we got to make we got to make the world think that Vegas is on fire. There's events happening every day. It means we got to promote each other and help each other out, and so on.
We're a city of 2.5 million people plus, soon to be 3 million people. The amount of money that goes through Las Vegas every day, whether it's through hospitality or gaming or investment or whatever it is, rivals New York and London.
Yeah,
I'm no joke. That's the amount of money that goes through this town every day. There's plenty of investor money for everyone. There's plenty of room for different startup ideas. There's plenty of room for multiple startup ecosystem events. So let's do them all. If you've got an event you want to do, tell us about it. We'll be there.
Yeah, and think about this. So Tech Alley has been like this launching pad for activity too. So people have come and said, I want to share knowledge, and we make it super simple. That was our whole purpose, is making it simple to share knowledge and receive knowledge. We pay for the venues. We help with the marketing. We help get people into your session. And then once you outgrow this, or you find a better time slot or something that's more convenient for the members of your group, they say, well, we're going to do something else. Perfect, man. Let me promote what you're doing, because if you do it to a Wednesday, let's have it make it on Wednesday.
Tell us about some of those success stories, groups that started here as a meetup at Tech Alley and went on to do other stuff.
Well, I would say that some have come and gone. I would say that I'm trying to remember if Josh Copeland's group.
I think that's off doing its own thing.
Yeah, it is. But how if it started here, or if he was doing it before, but hopefully it helped him grow.
It definitely
on this
accelerated
one.
It, right?
Let me think. There was I think there was another one that was meant for the service industry kind of technology groups. I hate to say, I forget. I mean, there's been 3 years, so many meetups that have
three and a half years. First, congratulations on 3.5 years of successful Tech Alley, month after month, never missing one.
Yeah.
All the support that everyone's given to Tech Alley for 3.5 years. Thank you for all your support. Congratulations on that. But like the AWS meetup started on their own and now is part of this, right?
So they started on their own, and then I think they came here just to help
boost a little bit,
and then went back on their own, which is, they're running a great group, and that's really cool
everyone's
space.
welcome. Everyone's welcome. The biggest challenge is finding the space for all the meetups, right?
Yeah. Oh, and the Python group, Vegas Python, is now here. They started here, like, I think the second Tech Alley event that we had was here for a while, and then went off on their own, and now they're back, and I'm excited about that. I love when groups head out and then they come back to the fold of it, because what did they learn? Who else are they bringing? And can we build off of their experiences? So overall, it's all about making knowledge sharing simple and easy for everybody. And I like to think that I don't want people to think that like Tech Alley is behind everything. I think that it's gonna be such a part of life in Las Vegas that people just know that every third Saturday there's an event in the Arts District.
And I think we're getting there. And I don't think anyone would claim that your claim, or anyone would claim Tech Alley's behind everything. I think everyone would openly and honestly say Tech Alley is supporting everything and everyone in our ecosystem, and that's why you started it, right?
Oh, that's it, right? And what I meant is that Tech Alley, Tech Alley's behind Tech Alley, right?
Yeah.
This event, no, I love it to think that they don't even think anybody's running it. Just the community gets together every third Saturday of the month.
It's really starting to feel that way.
I think so too, and I love it, right? Because even as the organizer of it, the amount of effort that I put during the day of Tech Alley is very little. I can do much more than networking component. Because it's a community-run event.
We show up to do this live stream, and the Taverna folks, Taverna Costera, corner of Charleston and Main, downtown Las Vegas, come on down, get a cup of coffee, have some lunch.
Yeah.
They're so kind to us. They're so gracious. They They always help us out no matter what's going on, no matter whatever problem we're having. They always help us out to get this live stream going every month. So
Oh yeah, and they've been a big factor in helping start the tech and startup community. They weren't even finished being built when we approached them and said, "Hey, we're running this event. Would you be a part?" And Jeff, the owner, was like, "Heck yeah, you're in."
Yeah.
And they gave us a great deal, and they've been taking care of us ever since. And it's what's neat is they become sort of this hub for this tech and startup scene. I come here for lunch or dinner or whatever, and I'm always seeing somebody within the space, here as well.
I can't tell you how many times since I've learned about Taverna and have started coming to Tech Alley that if I'm meeting up with someone downtown and we need to do lunch or dinner or something like that as part, because we got to figure out where we're going to eat in our day, that this is the place we come to.
Oh yeah, good foods, good people. So yeah, overall, again, Tech Alley is doing great on the event side. I'm looking forward to moving to cities as long as they need it. People say, what's the ultimate goal of Tech Alley when it comes to these events? It's to shut the door and say we did a great job. Done. They don't need us here in the community.
If there are so many events and everybody's playing each other's songs that we no longer need Tech Alley, that would be a win.
That would be a win
because everybody would be doing it.
That's it. That's a mission accomplished. I think every nonprofit, and we are a nonprofit, it has a mission, and if we achieve our mission, then there's always another city that needs help, right?
Yeah.
I want to see Vegas just rock and roll. Who's to say I'm ever, Tech Alley ever leave Vegas? I love Vegas. It's my hometown.
Well, you grew up here.
Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of us have adopted it. I was stationed here in the Air Force 20 years ago. Loved living here. Never thought I'd live here permanently. Went on to do some other Air Force assignments. And when I got out, I decided to move back.
Yeah.
So, I love it. I'll never live anywhere else. So.
But I'm really excited about what we're doing on the website and leveraging that now as a way to connect, folks. We're putting together a good resource of connect with your co-founder.
Okay.
Because we get a lot of that here. I'm like, well, can we help facilitate that a little bit more? I know Kurt's working on connect with your founder. Because the whole idea is how can the community help you get from point A to point B, from idea to market, and then from market to scalability, and so on, and ensure all those resources are available.
What a game changer that's going to be for people, because I've been in and out of this startup ecosystem for almost 10 years now. One of the biggest challenges I've seen with founders who are non-technical founders, they don't have that technical experience, especially if they're doing like an app or something that requires coding, right? They're looking for that person to be their co-founder. They're looking for that person to be their CTO. And it's so hard to find. It's so hard to build those relationships. That'll be a game changer for some of these startups in town, is to match up someone who's got a technical idea and needs to match up with a business person, or the person with the creative idea and needs to match up with their CTO or their co-founder. I mean, it's great. I think it'll be a game changer.
I met my co-founder here at Tech Alley.
Yeah.
And I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
People got together, and next thing you know, they're pitching their ideas. It's really, it's all about getting out and meeting folks. That's what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
Sitting in your house or staying in your own silos, you're really not going to find much opportunity. But getting out and hearing other people's ideas and going, man, I like that one, right? Who knows where it could be. So that's the whole focus on Tech Alley at this point, is be there for every stage of whatever a person's trying to get to. Idea to market, like I said, market to scalability, or creating stability, and can we provide a nice crafted resources in order for people to get it done? Because, I was talking to Zoho Bhaskar, and I was like, when we did Intagli as our company, immediately started getting a bunch of like inquiries.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we could be here answering inquiries for the next 8 hours, or we can do something like Zoho and get on their desk, and they're automating this thing and filtering through a lot of it. And now I can concentrate on actually building the company, and people only know what they know. So other people can introduce them that, hey, this is what solved my problem, Anyway, I want to make sure that people have at least the knowledge and resources and, availability of the history that helped other people overcome some of these challenges and in order to overcome theirs.
Yeah, there's great stuff coming up. Since you mentioned it, do you want to talk about Intagli? And you guys have had a lot of success with Intagli. It's changed a little bit, I think, since we last really talked about it. So
maybe
what's up with Intagli?
Oh, so for those who don't know, and so Intagli is this 3D printing platform that connects people that need 3D printing to those in the community that have 3D printers. So it's very similar to how the ride-sharing platform works with the riders and drivers. And the entire intent was we want to work with libraries so that the whole idea behind it was I want to encourage entrepreneurism as a foundation of a culture, a community.
We didn't want not being a maker to be a barrier to
Right.
keep people from pursuing their startup dreams.
There's a lot of idea folks, but I thought, how if a fourth grader had an idea, how could they turn that idea into something they can say and show, right?
Yep.
And I thought libraries, 3D printing, of course, and then really talking to all the folks here, I learned a lot of the complications talking to libraries, and eventually said, well, libraries don't need to print it. We can use people in the community to do 3D printing for them. That way they can scale without spending any money on equipment or any time of librarians, right? It's cut the barrier for them providing this service and make it so that kids and anybody else in the community that wants to create something have the ability to do it. The maker movement, right? You think you said something. So
Yeah, because so one of the things that always drives me nuts when I see a founder pitch is when they say we're going to be the Uber of whatever, like we're going to be the Uber of jelly donuts, right? But you guys really are the Uber of 3D printing, right?
It's the same exact idea. A two-sided marketplace. We're creating a market. But I love that Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? Where they said everything is a liability until you use it, then it's an asset until it makes money. So you have all these people that have 3D printers. They love to do it, but they just don't have anything to do anymore, right?
Right.
It's just
They've done all the projects they want to do.
And so now they have these opportunities to do these things and get paid for it. So since we use local folks to make it, and that solves the shipment component of moving product, which is always a pain in the butt, right? We solve that by using local folks to actually do the printing and make the delivery. They're now making money. Well, I think I said that, but we're creating this little ecosystem, this manufacturing ecosystem, which I think is a component of Industry 4.0, right?
Yeah.
Using gig economy to manufacture items within a community, and all that money sort of stays right within that community.
Yep.
So it's really cool. It's really cool to see, and I see a lot of really neat opportunity to grow that, expand it, and turn it into something that can really benefit the states and the community and and so on. We have to adopt this new idea of I want to make money with the assets I have or the items I have in my person. So we are rock and roll on that. We're doing the white labeling, so we work as a back end for companies, and we're doing manufacturing, and we started a national campaign. And now we're getting jobs from all across the country. It is insane.
That's
fantastic.
fantastic.
I'll tell you, Zach's leading that, and the dude has a great. And he's 20 years old. Dude has a brain he's going to be a very fine freaking businessman.
I want to shout Zach out a little bit because when we first met Zach was a senior in high school, or was he a junior in high school when we first met him? He's a senior in high school kid, and he has started 2 companies. I remember when he did the very first. I didn't see it, but I started coming to Tech Alley very shortly after they did the project that became his first company, and then you guys went down the Intagley Road.
Yeah. He's remarkable. I enjoy working around him. And me, I'm all over the place, right? I have ideas. I'm like, look what we can do, right?
Yep.
And he sort of centers that, and then really outlines. All right, let's come up with this path to success, and let's try new things. New things out. I mean. Yeah, he was a high school student. We met, when I was pitched Tech Alley to the community here, I said, someone take it. He's the one that approached me and said, hey, I like your idea. Let's make this happen. And I said, I like my idea now after we talked. I want to be in on this. And, 7 months later, it was launched. But, I mean, this guy's remarkable. So he graduated from high school. He started a company based off of mentorship here at Tech Alley.
Yep.
He started a company with me. Then he graduated. Went to college at the brick and mortar one and thought, all right, this is too slow. Jumped on to WGU, got his degree in 6 months. and
I barely got mine in 4 years.
Yeah, so the dude's. I'm really happy that he's. I'm working with him, and I think that I'm really happy that if more folks are liking what this world's going to be like with people thinking, the way that he does. But so when Tagley's gone doing that, we're doing modeling. Now.
Oh wow.
Find out there's a huge demand for that, and then we have some other ideas. And we got a patent pending process that we've developed. I don't know how much we can talk about it, but
That's okay.
It's a game changer for I think the industry and obviously for what we want to do. So in Tagley, it's funny. Last year we did our whiteboard, and it was all about developing the app, getting our first customers, yada yada yada. This month we did or this year we did it 2 months ago. It was all about scalability. How are we going to grow? And so it was really neat to see a company go from, if we went back to, all right, we still need to get customers, we'd have been in trouble. But it went from, all right, let's get things started up. Can we prove our concept works? To, all right, now how are we going to scale, across the country?
We might have to help you helping you get your pitch deck together and getting you some investors here. So.
Well, that's the thing. I wonder, and I really need to pick a lot of people's brains. Do I need an investor on this? I do see some value in it, right? Especially if we want to hyper grow. I'd love to get that knowledge, and I think from some of that knowledge, I need to have buy-in.
It's all how fast you want to scale.
Yeah.
You guys are on a good path. You don't need to. You can build this out bootstrapped, and it'll be great.
And that's the beauty is our platform works to the point where we can scale, and it doesn't add any time to what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's all they use the app. I mean, every time that we talked about that early on, we said if we had to spend 1 second per order to do something, we're no longer scalable. Because what happens when we get 9,000 orders?
It's got to be automated.
It has to be to the point where it runs, and our focus really is concentrating on making sure our operators are happy, and they're getting a good experience, and then they're helping drive, the platform, and orders come in, they want to take that order, and they do a great job fulfilling it. It's a great process. So we can concentrate again on that customer experience, that operator experience, and growth.
Fantastic. So before we let you go, highlights from 2024 in Tech Alley, and have you got any preview for us of great things coming up in 2025 for Tech Alley?
I think highlights for 2024, was one going to Henderson. I would say getting the Tech Alley platform up and running, the website, and
check to make sure we're not getting that music. Okay.
I would say,
okay.
And seeing a lot of new faces. What we have probably a 30% new attendees to Tech Alley, every month, and that was always the goal. It wasn't about getting the same people. I want to see, I wanted more people to discover this, this scene. So we're at 3,000 members now. So I'm really happy about that. Moving forward next year, it's going to be about offering those tools, be more on the back end of how can we help people communicate and grow, start hitting an audience nationwide, and then going into markets or cities that need to build a tech and startup community, and being part of that acceleration.
Well, that sounds fantastic.
I'm excited.
So awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Anything else you want to leave us with before we let you go?
If you are still thinking, man, should I come to Tech Alley?
Yes. Yes, you should.
I'm sitting around here. It's still going on. There is it's a full-on festival of events. They have DJs here. So there's DJs playing throughout the day. Got lunches starting in a little bit. Some great sessions that are happening here. Like I said, we got a new one with the Python group, which I'm really excited about. And then we have our end of the year celebration from 4 to 6 here at Taverna Casera. Food, fun, entertainment, and a great opportunity to network. And we have a youth group here called the UNLV Rebel Teen or Teen Rebel. I forget the group or Tech group, Tech Rebel group or something like that.
Okay.
They're actually sponsoring the celebration tonight from 4 to 6, but it's a good opportunity to meet some of the up and coming talent that's here in Vegas.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. Appreciate it.